It's good times, great oldies.
It's the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show. Live from Pizza Cottage in Mount Vernon on WMBO. Meet the coaches, learn about the players, and hear about plans for the season. Tonight's show is brought to you by Griffin Insurance, Pizza Cottage, Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction, and Page One. Sit back and enjoy the show. The Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show live from the Pizza Cottage in Mount Vernon.
All right, and a good Monday night to you. Tyler Mathias here. It is the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show presented by Griffin Insurance, Knox County Veteran Services, Pizza Cottage, Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction, and Page One Group. We're featuring the Centerburg Trojans football team and the East Knox Bulldogs football team, both coming off of wins on Friday night and both in contention in the Knox Memorial Athletic Conference with some big games ahead still in the season as we are set for week number 7 this upcoming Friday. First off, we've got the Centerburg Trojans with us here. Andy Colella, head football coach of the Centerburg Trojans. Carson Ross to his right, and there on the end is Jack Lawrence, and we thank them for joining us here on the program tonight. Well, the Centerburg Trojans come in tonight with a record of 4-2, and for the Centerburg Trojans, we were kind of talking off the air a little bit. There's one team in the conference right now that is overall undefeated, and that's the Northmore Golden Knights, and the Centerburg Trojans have been the closest to potentially knocking them off this season. And so, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about that and things, but coaches, you look now, you're beyond that midway point, and now you're at a point where it's go time. You're looking at where you are in the standings and different things with the KMAC. So, looking at it right now, 6 weeks in, how are you feeling about your team sitting at 4-2 and getting ready for a big ball game this upcoming Friday night?
Yeah, I feel really good about it. These guys have been playing well all year. They play super hard. You can just look at that through the course of the last 6 weeks. But before last week, we just it was the midpoint of the season. Yeah. And you had 3-2 through the first 5, but we feel pretty confident about the last 5, and that's kind of our goal there to. And it's not going to be easy, but the next 4 weeks are going to be really challenging. But we feel that we've got the pieces to be able to do that and finish out on a really positive note.
For a couple of years now, you've had some injuries here and there, and it's hurt you. I mean, it's high school. You get somebody hurt that's a key part of your team. It's not like it's the NFL or college football, and somebody steps in. Obviously, you have the mantra of next man up and things, but it does certainly hurt. Are you guys fairly healthy this year, and the fact that maybe that's helping you to with this 4-2 record, getting ready to go to Mount Gilead on Friday night?
For the most part, we have a senior lineman and a senior running back. Yeah. That aren't able to play right now, but just like you said, you got the next guy's up, and we feel we're pretty deep in a lot of places. So the guys that have filled in have done an excellent job, but obviously when you're missing 2 guys like that's a huge void to fill. Well,
of course, this year you've got a quarterback in there in Blaine Ball that starting at quarterback for the first time in varsity, and I just want to maybe look at him and kind of assess him here at the beyond the midway point. Seems like he's doing a really nice job. He's I think second in the conference in touchdown passes and has been really solid for you under center.
Yeah, he's been really efficient.
Yeah.
I think, and he's getting better every week. He's making really good decisions. And he's able to run the football as well, which adds a different element. When you're trying to defend that with the other weapons that we have. So that opens some things up for him if they're going to focus on other guys. But yeah, I've been really proud of him and the way that he's played up to this point.
Well, you look at theyese 2 guys down here, Carson Ross and Jack Lawrence. What have they meant to the success of this team here? Again, 6 games in, sitting at 4-2.
They've been really consistent, and they're really good leaders. So that's helped us out. Carson, primarily plays defense, and he's had a really good season up to this point. But like his leadership, he plays scout team for us, and that's huge. Going against our offense, and that's made him a better football player. So we have guys like that don't shy away from those kinds of things, and he's a perfect example of that. And then Jack has been really consistent on both sides of the ball. He was been out for a couple of weeks, but he's back with us now. So to have him back is a huge part of what we do in those 2 phases.
All right, again, Andy Colella, head football coach of the Centerburg Trojans. Carson, what year are you in school here?
I'm a senior.
Senior year, this is it for you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as you looked at going into this season, did you kind of expect to sit here at 4-2 and give yourself a chance here at the Knoxmore Athletic Conference?
Oh, absolutely. I had a lot of confidence that we were going to be really good this year.
When you went into the season and Coach was saying, "Here, Carson, this is what we need you to do," and we kind of talked a lot last week about 111th and just the pieces and all the pieces that you have to do to be successful as a team. What did Coach mention that he wanted you to do in your senior year to help this team be successful and help you be successful too?
He just really needed me to step up, be a vocal leader, and lead the younger guys under me, set a good example, and just be consistent and give everything that I got every day.
And, of course, when you talk about being a leader, it's vocally, but it's also just on the field and what you do in practice. A lot of people don't understand how important practice is, especially for young guys, to see guys working hard when it's not the Friday Night Lights and realizing that that's what makes the Friday Night Lights successful for a team. So what did Coach mention about, what he wanted you to do in practice and what he wanted you to do there on Friday nights as well?
Just set a good example by giving effort no matter what. A lot of the freshmen and underclassmen need to see that you need to go hard, not just on game days.
Yeah, Friday nights is always, you get a little more hyped up, but the other days a little more difficult to do something like that. Well, what were some of the goals you had for yourself this year, Carson, as you went into your senior year?
Really, I just wanted to be the best leader that I can and try to motivate more of my classmates more than I have the other years, and just be more physical and more aggressive.
Again, we appreciate Carson Ross joining us here. Down on the end there, Jack Lawrence. I told Jack, you've been on this show a couple of times. You know what you're doing down there.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing with the microphone. He's a veteran. Yeah, it's like that. What year are you in school?
I'm a senior.
Okay. See, I remember when he was just like really young, senior year. Kids, time goes fast, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sure
Jack, you look at this year, and you've been at the varsity level, and you've experienced it going in. What did you want to do for yourself and for the team here in 2024?
I think that last year was kind of like an off year for us, and I think that kind of like a lot of people doubted us now, and we were kind of like a dark horse. So really, we kind of took that underdog mentality, and we everybody in our room, we all knew we believed in each other, and we had the depth, we were getting better each day in the weight room and stuff, and I think just our commitment to what we were doing this year is outstanding.
I was talking to a coach the other day, and I was asking about Centerburg, and he said, "Man, that team's they're big, they're fast, and they know how to play football."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want people to say about the Centerburg Trojans, isn't it, Coach? I mean,
yeah,
that you guys
absolutely.
are quick, you're competitive, and you're going to give them your best shot every single Friday night.
Yes, we try to tell the kids, man, those are the best compliments. When people, recognize the fact that, these guys play hard, they play the game the right way. It says a lot about them and their commitment and their buy-in to, what it is that we do and to each other. And, there's a lot of good stuff, and I've said that really from the beginning. From these guys and what they've done, and in particular the leadership and guys like these two that are sitting right here.
You said it 4-2, what you mentioned already, and you think about the two games that you lost. You had a chance in the fourth quarter against a guy going to Ohio State, and I think they're Division III, Ontario's, and then Northmore is undefeated. So you're not playing cupcakes and competing with these guys and going toe-to-toe with them throughout a whole game. That tells a lot about your group, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's unfortunate that you can't pull them out, but, they're early on in the season, and if we handle it the right way, we feel like we'll be in a good position at the end of the season to hopefully make some noise. And that's kind of been the hurdle for us right now. And we feel that those games like that, are going to allow us to get over that hump.
Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the games so far this year, and, of course, look forward to the game against Mount Gilead this upcoming Friday night as the Centerburg Trojans will go on the road to take on the Indians. Do want to thank Page One Group, Griffin Insurance, Knox County Veteran Services, Pizza Cottage, Covers Electric Plumbing and Construction. Of course, Page One Group does these mugs. Carson, you want to model that mug?
He was just telling us about his. He actually uses coffee mugs for breakfast.
He does.
I do.
Yeah, you do? So. Well, you're taking one of those when you're done. Sweet. There we go. Might I also add that Carson is the sharpest dressed player that we've ever had on the show. Did you tell him to dress like that?
I said, whatever. If you wanted to look good on camera, you needed to dress up.
Hey,
so
you know
he
what?
wanted to look good on camera.
I like it. He's ready. Jack, it's a nice hoodie, though.
I mean, sophomore year, me and my boys dressed up pretty well for basketball. So
You did. Well,
we
they did. And they still do. All right. Appreciate Senator joining us. Good to talk some more with the Trojans here coming up. Take this break. It's the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show from Pizza Cottage in Mount Vernon.
Good afternoon. I'm Paul Keels. Baseball today, a doubleheader in Atlanta. In the first game, they're in the ninth inning. The Braves lead the New York Mets 7-6 in what's been a back-and-forth game. This twin bill made necessary because of postponements caused last week by Hurricane Helene. Here's what will determine the playoff picture in the National League based on these games today. If either team sweeps the twin bill, the loser is left out of the playoffs, and the Arizona Diamondbacks will get in as a wild card. A split of the doubleheader gets both the Braves and the Mets in, and the Diamondbacks are left out. Meanwhile, the NHL's Columbus Blue Jackets will host Washington in a preseason game tonight at Nationwide Arena. This comes on the same day that the National Hockey League announced that all teams will wear a decal honoring the Blue Jackets, Johnny Gaudreau and his brother, through October 24th. The two were killed last month when a vehicle hit the bicycles they were riding in. From football, the Carolina Panthers announcing today that linebacker Shaq Thompson will miss the rest of the season with what's believed to be a torn Achilles that will require surgery. The injury occurred in the Panthers' loss to the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday. 2 NFL games tonight. The winless Tennessee Titans are in Miami to take on the 1-2 Dolphins. Also, 3-0 Seattle and Detroit to take on the 1-2 Lions. Basketball Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo has passed away at age 58 after battling brain cancer. The 4-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year ranks second all-time in NBA history with block shots. This is the Ohio News Network.
Page One Group in beautiful Mount Vernon has your best interest in mind when it comes to you and your printing needs. Whether it's printing, design, laser engraving, or sublimation, there isn't a texture we can't print on. Promotional products is how you keep people coming back. That's where we come in. Your business is our business. Page One Group, open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Call 740-397-4240 or visit us at 10 East Vine Street.
Griffin Insurance, taking care of your family since 1972. In today's day and age, it's very uncommon to get a real person when you call. Not at Griffin Insurance. We represent multiple carriers to find the best rate for you and your family. Whether it's auto, residential, commercial, or farm, we're here to help. Call Griffin Insurance at 740-397-7488. Griffin Insurance, finding you the best rate.
Veterans serving veterans.
That's what we do here at Knox County Veteran Services. Hi, I'm Kevin Henthorne, your Executive Director.
And I'm Financial Coordinator Melissa Schenk.
And we're here to meet the needs of Knox County veterans and their families.
We can help with emergency financial assistance,
filing of disability and pension claims, VA healthcare enrollment, and even transportation to VA healthcare facilities.
Please give us a call at 740-393-6742 or stop in and see us at our new location at 105 East Chestnut Street in Mount Vernon.
Pizza Cottage in Mount Vernon is one of 11 pizza cottages in Ohio. They are among the nation's best performing pizzerias and ranked in Pizza Today. The finest ingredients is used daily. Treat your customers and employees like family and always give back to the community, offering not only takeout but also dine-in and full bar. Book your group parties today. Find Pizza Cottage on Facebook or go to pizza-cottage.com to begin your journey of tastes.
Your sinks are backed up, the electric in your master bedroom needs rewired, and now the wife is asking for a new addition. It's time to get in touch with Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Now Construction. Give Brian and his team a call at 740-627-8004. They can fix your electrical and plumbing needs and give your bathroom and kitchen a remodel.
Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Construction is a proud sponsor for all the local high school teams.
Enjoy the season. Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Construction. 740-627-8004.
Oh, yeah. We are back here at Pizza Cottage on South Main Street in Mount Vernon. We got a lot of people in here tonight eating pizza and enjoying their food and the atmosphere here. And maybe some of them are enjoying watching the show here. A lot of them are, focusing on their food and eating and everything. But we appreciate the Centerburg Trojans joining us here. Again, Coach Andy Colella, Carson Ross, and Jack Lawrence with us. Well, Coach, I want to go back to your last ball game against Cardington Lincoln, and you just mentioned to it right before we went back Chris was in here with us, and we had Trevin in here, I think, were the other two that came in here. And Chris got his touchdown. What did he do?
He actually got two.
He got two of them.
He got 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he had a rushing touchdown, and then he had a long pass.
He did?
Yep.
Okay. Well, see, I didn't see that one. But he only had a 56-yarder.
Yeah,
That's
did.
awesome.
Yeah.
Was he celebrating before he got to the end zone, or did he wait till he got in?
He's just kind of chill. He's a chill kind of.
Well, he was when he was here, but I didn't know if it was staying on the football field.
He's pretty consistent.
Yeah. Looking back at that game, you're talking about facing a Cardington Lincoln team that, Ron Getzman's done a nice job with that group, and they got a solid running back and pieces there, and they're improving. But you guys took care of business on Friday night. What'd you like about your team in that 33-6 victory?
I think the last 2 weeks the first 5 games or so, 4 or 5 games, we started off kind of slow. We were always coming back, and that was kind of been a point of emphasis. We need to get out in front of people and teams and make them work, to try to catch us. And I felt like we've done that pretty well the last 2 weeks, and we were able to do that again on Friday. And plus the conditions there, I think that kind of helped us with that as well. So, we played in that several weeks ago, so our guys were used to it, and they handled it well the first time. So, from experience, they handled it just as well the second time.
It was not raining when I left Centerburg for the show, and then obviously it rained during the game there. Carson, what stands out in that win against Cardington Lincoln for you guys, or for you? You guys went 33-6.
I feel like we just kind of had like a no excuses mentality. Like, even though the weather was really bad, we just came out with a really nasty mentality, and we just wanted to play.
Well, you guys obviously got the victory. What was the message maybe going into that ball game? You're back at home. You have an opportunity to get to 4-2 on the season.
Just not let anyone forget who we are, and just show that we mean business.
You guys meant business on Friday, 33-6. I know Coach Colella had to be happy with that one. As you look at it, Jack, what stood out for that game? 33-6, you knock off Cardington Lincoln.
I just think that we've handled the conditions pretty well, which, we can't make that an excuse. But, I felt like we came out, wanted to play, and played our game, and played. That's about it.
Took care of business at home. How much do you preach protecting your home field? Nobody drove through there and made ruts, so that's cool. But how important is it? You got to win these games at home, especially in conference play, Coach.
Yeah, you do. Not only that, but, these guys, they only have so many opportunities to play there.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you maximize those and that those guys enjoy those experiences. And, the rain for them, you could, as soon as they came out of the locker room, they were able to get out there. You could just feel the energy kind of picked up a little bit because it was something that they embraced and they had fun with.
Yeah. Well, playing in the rain could be a good time. It can also be, you slip around a little bit and, you see what happens.
We've had a pretty good time with it, so.
Yeah, well, my wife told me before I left for the show, she said, why did you take the dog out? She dragged me across the lawn. It was all slippery. So I was like, if it's like that for the football game, they're going to be slipping around and things. But for you guys to have that adversity, with the weather and different things, great win for you there. Coach, I was talking with Brian on Friday night, and I know the coaches love homecoming so much. You guys just absolutely love homecoming. But does it add an extra hype for you guys? Does it add an extra distraction? Or is it like, it's just an every other night? It doesn't really matter.
I don't know. You'd probably have to ask them. Yeah. It's part of the experience, So those guys, they got to enjoy it too. They're kids, and, it's part of the deal. Yep. So, but I think they're able to kind of block those things out when it comes to that time. And, they played pretty well, so I don't think it was a huge distraction to him.
So Chris, we mentioned, got his touchdown. Congratulations, Chris, out there. I don't know if he had a bet. I don't remember if we had a bet when we were out here, but Miles Marshall had a big ball game too. And we've talked about it before. In the state of Ohio, you have to be able to run the football.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to. The weather conditions, whether it be once it gets colder, whether it's raining, you need to be able to run the football. You guys were able to do that on Friday night, especially Miles.
Yeah, it's kind of been one of the themes since the beginning of the season. After we felt like we could be a pretty good football team, and we told the guys when it comes to those times and the meaningful football games and later on in the season, if you want to win in the playoffs, you got to be able to run the football and you got to be able to stop the run.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting better at that. There still needs to be some improvement in there, but when you got the guys up front that are kind of able to lead the way there, and then you got the ball carriers like Miles that we do. He could take it from really anywhere on the field. And Blaine had a long run earlier in the season and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, It's
Miles
pretty
a
special.
sophomore?
Yeah, he's a sophomore.
That's what I thought from
Yeah.
basketball last year as well as a freshman. Carson, homecoming and everything, it's a fun time. How exciting was it to be back in front of the home fans on Friday night and to get a victory over Cardinals Lincoln?
I mean, it's always a good time to be at home.
Yeah.
Definitely a way more energetic atmosphere for sure.
Yeah. I got to ask you, did you wear that shirt to homecoming?
I did not attend the homecoming dance, no.
Oh, you did not go.
No.
You know what? I don't blame you. You don't want to go. We didn't have to do that. But we appreciate you joining us. Jack, as we look at Friday night, it's almost like a business thing. You get on the field, you forget all the distractions behind you, homecoming and everything, your date and everything like that. You just focus on the football game. You guys were able to do that on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean that was my first game back in 4 weeks, so I think it was added a different energy for me. But yeah, I mean it's always fun to play back in your home crowd. I mean there's not going to be, as Coach says, there's not going to be a homecoming without a football game. So I mean,
there you go. What injury did you have?
I had an ankle sprain.
Ankle sprain. Well, yeah. Ankle sprains are not fun.
No.
And we talk about getting guys back, and did you kind of ease them back in, or you said, hey, you're ready, you're healthy, get out there, we're going to go full throttle?
No, yeah, he had to go through the proper protocol. Our trainer does an excellent job of getting these guys back ready to go again. So that was part of the plan, and as he continues on throughout the weeks here, he'll get more and more time out there. So, but we listen to the trainer and what he tells us to do. That's what we do.
All right, now let's look as this upcoming week. You're taking on Mount Gilead. And I'll tell you what, when I was in school, Mount Gilead wasn't in the conference, obviously, in the Mid-Buckeye Conference. That's how old I am now, I guess. But Mount Gilead's a tough football team.
They are.
Coach Reed has done a great job with that team over there. When you look at Mount Gilead, what problems do they cause for opposing teams?
Yeah, they're big and physical up front, and they love to run the football.
Yeah.
He's brought the Highland mentality with him over there, from his days back at Highland, and this year he runs a little wing T style offense. So they're packing it in there, and they're playing a smash mouth brand of football. So it's a little bit different than what they've done the last couple of years. So it's going to be a challenge for us because we really haven't faced anybody quite like that. So it'll be a little bit different kind of attitude and from the other side there and what they're bringing to us.
That's 2 straight weeks we've mentioned the wing tee. Yeah, I did not think we would ever talk about the wing tee again.
It's coming back.
How hard is that to defend? I mean, the wing tee. It's hard to call a game with the wing tee, honestly, because you don't know who has football half the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of misdirection and motion, and it can be challenging. Especially for, most of the offenses nowadays have more spread elements to them. Yeah. There's still some wing tee variations in a lot of the offenses, but you don't see under center, double wing stuff too much anymore. So, for these guys, they really haven't seen a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Like when I first started coaching at Centerburg, pretty much everybody was in the wing tee or some form of it. So, but now these guys go through their career and they don't see it a whole lot anymore. So, adapting to that and then trying to get your scout team guys to replicate that that's a pretty difficult challenge.
Yeah, I tell you what, just like I say, calling a wing tee is difficult and it can cause a lot of issues with things. And even Ed was mentioning last week. He said, we'll always have an element of the wing tee.
Oh, yeah.
even with, when they were running the spread there at Danville and stuff like that. It's just how it is and things. Carson, as you look at this week, you take on Mount Gilead, you're going back on the road. What are some of the things that you want to improve upon, some of the things that you want to do better than maybe you did last week as you prepare for this game this upcoming Friday?
I want to be a little bit more aggressive, get my hands out there more, and just use my speed to just try to make more plays.
All right, you have an opportunity Friday night at Mount Gilead. And Jack, what are some of the things that maybe you want to work on from last week and to get back out there? Now you got your feet wet a little bit, getting back on the field, getting back there on Friday night.
Yeah, I think I'm just excited to get back out there, being a senior and missing 4 or 10 regular season games, but no, I'm just excited, new opportunity, playing against something different that we really haven't seen before, so we got to embrace the challenge and just have fun with it.
Is it a situation, I don't want to give away game plans or anything like that, and I know you're pretty easy at saying, Tyler, I'm just not going to answer that, but is it a situation where you look and you say, there are 3 guys back there, you spy this guy, you spy this guy, you spy that guy, and you don't have to answer that, Coach.
I mean, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
There's a couple different ways.
If you have a D coordinator position open, Coach, no, I'm right there to be there. you guys are in the race here to potentially win the conference. I mean, obviously you got the loss to Northmore right now, but not out of it. You still got everything still in front of you and opportunities. What do you want to see from these guys this week? And as you continue to go forward, you guys are right in the thick of being able to have a playoff spot and play football beyond the 10 weeks.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're some of the other stuff, the conference stuff, that's kind of out of our control right now. But what we can do is continue to get better. And when week 10 comes, we want to make sure that we're in as best a position as we can be in for the playoffs. And that's when you want to be playing your best football, anyways. So just working to build towards that, and kind of reevaluating every week. And like Carson and Jack had mentioned, just little things to work on. It kind of keeps those guys motivated and working towards there, because there's still, I think the ceiling's still, we're not quite there yet. So there's still a lot of work that we can do to get better and continue to do so.
You talk about the ceiling there. Is it a good thing to not reach that ceiling yet, or you're like, hey, it's week 7. We really need to get to that point now?
Yeah, I think it it gives you something to work for throughout the week, and you try to improve upon those things every Friday, and then when you sit down on Saturday, there's things that stick out and every week that you can work on. So when you have guys that buy in and want to work to improve those things, that gives you a lot of hope and encouragement about where you can go.
Yeah. Of course, Centerburg fans are great. I went to Centerburg, and Centerburg fans are just great. What does it mean to have them even support? They're going to be there at Mount Gilead on Friday night supporting you guys on the road too. How important is that fan base at Centerburg?
It's severely important, just to be able to know that you have a whole bunch of people, a whole town behind you, supporting you, wanting to watch you succeed. It definitely adds a different kind of fuel factor to going out there and wanting to give them a good show.
Jack, those fans in Centerburg, they're great, aren't they?
Yeah, there's something else. It's great to.
There's something else. There you go.
It's always great to have like a community around you, and you feel like you're playing for them all the time, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just always fun to be home and got lawn chairs set up on the hill. It's just something you like having your dreams.
Maybe one day there will be a new stadium and everything, but the stadium feel at Centerburg is great, isn't it? Because you got the people on the hill, and you got the people that show up, and when you're getting to the end zone, I remember seeing a picture a couple of years ago where a guy scores a touchdown. You see all these little kids jumping up and down, and that's pretty awesome, because that's the future.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to have that there. And we talk so much about building a program, and I was talking with Ed last week and Matt and things. Do you kind of have the same idea with building a program, in that you want to run the same things in 7th and 8th grade and the JV level, so then they come to varsity, they're ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, and then you could take it one step further. We even try to get our Colt kids to, run a version of kind of what they can't do the same exact things, but some of the verbiage and some of the things that we do, and then as they get to middle school, they can kind of take it up a notch, and then that way when they get to high school, you're not reteaching them and teaching them brand new stuff. So you save a lot of time, and I think if you structure it the right way, you can create something that's pretty consistent across the board.
Centerburg Trojans taking on Mount Gilead. What are the keys for the Trojans to knock off the Indians on Friday night?
Yeah, just like these guys said, man, just embrace the challenge of something different.
Yeah.
That they're not used to. The physicality, like our kids play really hard, and they like hitting people and running, and so I think they're excited about it. And that's their strength. But I also feel like it's our strength too.
Yeah.
We physically have been in it, every week. So, they're not going to shy away from that.
All right, again, Andy Colella, Carson Ross, and Jack Lawrence, Centerburg Trojans, taking on Mount Gilead on Friday night. Thank you so much for joining us here at Pizza Cottage in Mount Vernon. Also want to thank Coverage Electric Plumbing and Construction, Griffin Insurance, Knox County Veteran Services as well. And again, this is the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show from Pizza Cottage on South Main Street in Mount Vernon. Let's take this break. We'll come back. We'll talk with the East Knox Bulldogs next here on WMBO.
Time and Temperature is brought to you by
Knox County Veteran Services, located at 105 East Chestnut Street, Mount Vernon. Stop in and see us today.
Good afternoon. afternoon. I'm Paul Keels. Baseball today, a doubleheader in Atlanta. In the first game, they're in the ninth inning. The Braves lead the New York Mets 7-6 in what's been a back-and-forth game. This twin bill made necessary because of postponements caused last week by Hurricane Helene. Here's what will determine the playoff picture in the National League based on these games today. If either team sweeps the twin bill, the loser is left out of the playoffs, and the Arizona Diamondbacks will get in as a wild card. A split of the doubleheader gets both the Braves and the Mets in, and the Diamondbacks are left out. Meanwhile, the NHL's Columbus Blue Jackets will host Washington in a preseason game tonight in Nationwide Arena. This comes on the same day that the National Hockey League announced that all teams will wear a decal honoring the Blue Jackets, Johnny Gaudreau and his brother, through October 24th. The two were killed last month when a vehicle hit the bicycles they were riding in. From football, the Carolina Panthers announcing today that linebacker Shaq Thompson will miss the rest of the season with what's believed to be a torn Achilles that will require surgery. The injury occurred in the Panthers' loss to the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday. 2 NFL games tonight. The winless Tennessee Titans are in Miami to take on the 1-2 Dolphins. Also, 3-0 Seattle and Detroit to take on the 1-2 Lions. Basketball Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo has passed away at age 58 after battling brain cancer. The 4-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year ranks second all-time in NBA history with block shots. This is the Ohio News Network.
Your sinks are backed up, the electric in your master bedroom needs rewired, and now the wife is asking for a new addition. It's time to get in touch with Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Now Construction. Give Brian and his team a call at 740-627-8004. They can fix your electrical and plumbing needs and give your bathroom and kitchen a remodel.
Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction is a proud sponsor for all the local high school teams.
Enjoy the season. Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Construction. 740-627-8004.
Griffin Insurance, taking care of your family since 1972. In today's day and age, it's very uncommon to get a real person when you call. Not at Griffin Insurance. We represent multiple carriers to find the best rate for you and your family. Whether it's auto, residential, commercial, or farm, we're here to help. Call Griffin Insurance at 740-397-7488. Griffin Insurance, finding you the best rate.
Veterans serving veterans.
That's what we do here at Knox County Veteran Services. Hi, I'm Kevin Henthorne, your Executive Director.
And I'm Financial Coordinator Melissa Schenk.
And we're here to meet the needs of Knox County veterans and their families.
We can help with emergency financial assistance,
filing of disability and pension claims, VA healthcare enrollment, and even transportation to VA healthcare facilities.
Please give us a call at 740-393-6742 or stop in and see us at our new location at 105 East Chestnut Street in Mount Vernon.
Pizza Cottage in Mount Vernon is one of 11 pizza cottages in Ohio. They are among the nation's best performing pizzerias and ranked in Pizza Today. The finest ingredients is used daily. Treat your customers and employees like family and always give back to the community. Offering not only takeout but also dine-in and full bar. Book your group parties today. Find Pizza Cottage on Facebook or go to pizza-cottage.com to begin your journey of tastes. Here's your forecast on 100.9 FM and 93.7 HD2.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies and a slight chance for a rain shower tonight, low around 60, high in the mid to upper 70s Tuesday. Cloudy skies, another slight chance for a rain shower. Low of 55 tonight, showers in the evening, cloudy overnight. And for Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 71 and low of 47. That's your forecast on 100.9 FM and streaming live online, WMVO.com. All right, we are back here at Pizza Cottage, South Main Street in Mount Vernon. And, of course, I want to thank the two people behind the camera, not Curtis tonight. The two people behind the camera, by the way, have a combined age of 30. So, I'm teasing them. There's young kids back there, you know. But appreciate Gary with 2 R's and Delaney with an L for being behind the camera. And we appreciate them. All right, thanks again to the Centerburg Trojans for joining us. And we appreciate East Knox joining us as well. Well, this is a big one Friday night, Coach. You're going to be taking on Northmore, and we'll have the game on our WMVO Facebook page, live streaming, and WMVO on the radio, and we're looking forward to that. And then our other game, Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets taking on Watkins Moore. Jackets going for their 3rd consecutive win. That will be the first time they've done that since 2020, so that'll be Friday night. That one is just live streaming on the WMVO Facebook page. We're looking forward to talking with the East Knox Bulldogs coming out a victory 20-0 against the Mount Gilead Indians, and you aren't talking strategy there with Coach Colella. You can't do that yet because, you know, you guys got a battle still. But Coach, we've talked before about the East Knox Bulldogs, and obviously you brought some pieces back. First off, I want to start off with Jack Lester. You know, obviously a guy who's had some experience and different things. He's dealt with some injuries and everything, but now he's second in the conference passing, and he's a big part of what you guys are doing here. And, of course, you've got a lot of different pieces here.
Yeah, Jax does a really good job kind of manning the ship for us offensively and really plays a huge part in the secondary defensively. But, it's funny, he's a junior, but people kind of feel like he's a senior.
Yeah, I know. He's been in forever.
Yeah, exactly. But he's doing a really good job managing the offense. And there are games, where we're only asking him to throw it 8 or 9 times. And then there are games like this last week he threw, I think, 35 times. And so he's helping us just kind of take advantage of what we can take advantage of there.
Yeah, 34.
34, okay.
To be exact. You were close, though.
I think Blake stole one of his passes.
Yeah, he did.
1 for 1.
3-yard touchdown pass,
there
right?
There you go, yep.
All right.
Yep.
Get him involved in there to pass. He's back there. He's eating all the pizza back there.
All our pizza.
Yeah, he's back there, though. But one of the things you and I talked about, we talked in the summer, and one of the things we talked about was, hey, who are going to be those guys that step up on the outside? Mm-hmm. Who are going to be those guys that step into roles and make those catches and make those plays? And we're seeing a couple of them here, Luke Holsinger and Logan Clark. We appreciate them joining us up here as well. But having those guys on the outside, very crucial. It balances your offense out, right?
Yeah, it really does. We play a lot of tight wing sets, so a lot of times we only have 2 receivers on the field at a time. And, right now we have 4 receivers that we feel incredibly comfortable with, and so it's nice to have a 1 and a 1A that we can go out there and things don't really change in how they look. It just keeps rolling there. So I'm really proud of these 2 and the way they've stepped up, and sophomore Dakota Cooper and, of course, a freshman Rush Beatty that have all stepped up there.
Rush had a big interception return for a touchdown, too. Got moving a little bit. Heard he's never run that fast before, but now he's turning the wheels on. Luke, what year are you in school?
I'm a senior.
Senior year here, and appreciate you joining us here. I always like to ask the guys what your expectations were going into the year. Maybe some of the things that Coach Beatty said, we need you to do this, Luke, for us to have a successful season.
So expectations for this year was just, go out and give it my all. It's last year, so it really just helping the team out however I could, be there for everybody and build the brotherhood that, would last forever.
Yeah, wide receiver on offense and DB on defense, is that right?
Yep.
Which one do you like more, offense or defense?
Offense.
Okay, well, I figured that would be the answer,
Yeah.
but I had to ask, Yeah. Logan Clark, we know you made a big play, 22-yard touchdown catch on Friday night, and what year are you in school?
I'm actually a sophomore.
Sophomore. That's pretty cool. That's got to be a good feeling for, you got seniors in there, you got sophomores, you got all different ages there. Coach Logan, when you look at what the expectations were from Coach for you this year, what were some of the things he wanted you to work on maybe in the offseason and as you prepared for this season?
I mean, I feel like obviously filling a big role, stepping up as a younger guy, and just really catching the ball.
Making the plays. Now, you play offense and defense?
Yeah, I do.
What do you play on defense?
I play outside linebacker.
Outside linebacker. Look at that. You're a wide receiver that plays linebacker. That's pretty cool, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty awesome. But when you look at having opportunities, much like Luke has as well, and you've had these opportunities to say, hey, look, these guys graduated. These rules are open now for us to step into. How much importance did you put on that going into this year to know, again, it kind of bounced up the offense with a guy like Blake Elliott back, one of the top rushers in the K-Mac?
I mean, yeah, I obviously knew me, Dakota, would have to step up with last year having 5 seniors, and just got to fill that gap.
Well, you guys have done that so far, and it's been a good season here for the East Knox Bulldogs up to this point. It's a biggie on Friday night. We're going to talk about that, of course, going into it. But, again, we know that going into the year and there's no getting around it. Blake Elliott was one of the top rushers in the K-Mac, and he's back, and it's always great to have that back. Right. But teams watch film, and they know, what. Have you seen that where maybe they're sticking more in the box and you're relying more on having to throw the football and get it out to these guys and, maybe even use Jax Lester's legs too when he can do that?
Yeah, we've seen a lot more of that. Of course, his reputation now is that of a great running back. And last year, maybe it caught people by surprise, especially the first part of the year where I think now people know. And they're selling out to stop the run game with him. So, last year what we ended up seeing was a lot of man coverage outside on the perimeter, and sometimes we could beat that, sometimes we couldn't. So this offseason we spent a lot of time making sure we had the tools to be able to take advantage of that when we saw single coverage outside. And these guys have all stepped up and really taken that challenge to heart. And then you add into that, we tell Jax a lot of times he's our +1 in the run game. So, this last game is a good example where Blake had less carries than Jax, and Blake almost turned into a pulling guard for us. And he would make a really good guard too. But but it was just it wasn't a question for anybody. It was just, what does the team need to win on this rainy, muddy, miserable night, and that's what everybody did.
As you guys prepare for this ball game this week, Luke, what is maybe something the coaches already preach? I say preach to you, but you preach on Sundays already. Yep. But what has Coach already mentioned to you? It's only Monday so far about this big matchup on Friday night.
He always preaches do your 1/11th and just do your job and give 100% effort all the time. And we know it's a big game this week, but we're ready to go take care of business Friday.
All right. Yep, business trip. There you go. Logan, what has the coach maybe mentioned about this game on Friday night and as you prepare for a big matchup there at East Knox?
Yeah, well, obviously the secondary's really got to step up with they've got a good group of receivers and a good quarterback behind it. So, yeah, I'd say just the secondary really has to step up and feel it.
Yeah. Well, Coach, last week you took on the Mount Gilead Indians, and we were talking about it just now. It's just a scrappy group. I mean, Coach Reed's has done a really nice job there, and you guys shut them out 20-0. Made some big plays there in that ball game. Of course, 53-yard touchdown pass. Hey, shout out to Scott Brickner who tweets at me during the games because I can't really do as much when I'm on the show. Shout out Scott for tweeting at me that, but. You get the big play there, you get the lead, and you shut out Mount Gilead. But like I say, that's a good football team. That's a good win for you guys on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, going into that game, we really felt like Mount Gilead's was better than what their record indicated because they had lost some close games, and they played everybody really well. They do a good job of limiting possessions. They're gonna really bleed the clock and try to march it down the field. And so we also felt like we had to be very, very careful in the little details, take advantage of those times where we could take a shot or we could take a play because we knew that they were going to try to keep the ball away from us. And so they've kind of revamped their offense this year, and I mean they're really big across the board. It was one of those, you look at it and it's like, well, you might add up 2 of our linemen to equal 1 of theirs size wise, and but our guys did a really good job executing the game plan, and it was a very selfless game plan we asked the young guys up front on the defensive line to do. And they executed it without any complaints or issues there. So that was really exciting.
Well, as you look at it, Luke, what stood out to you in that win against East Knox? Or Mount Gilead, I'm sorry, you are East Knox. Both purple, though.
Yeah, they're a really big team. They were pretty good all around the board. And we knew we were going to have to all step up and do our jobs and fulfill that. And I think it was a great effort from everyone around defense and offense. Everyone put their all into that game.
You guys get the victory 20-0. Logan, what stood out to you in that win against Mount Gilead?
I mean, obviously Blake Elliott playing a very selfless game and letting Jackson open up and throw the ball a little bit and just playing through the rain to try to catch the ball.
Coach, you talk about being selfless. You have to in football. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, if a team's saying, Blake Elliott, you're not doing anything, we're shutting you down. Other guys have to step up. Guys like Logan, guys like Luke, they have to step up in those games. And Blake, as you mentioned, kind of plays a different role. That's so crucial, guys being almost like chameleons, being able to play different positions. Not different position, but different roles within the offense.
Yeah, and that's, I think, one of my favorite things about coaching at East Knox and with these young men is their willingness to just do whatever it takes for the team. And I mean, we saw that on full display. We actually had our corners. They were kind of our edge setters against that T formation, and that's something that they've probably never done before, but we delivered that game plan on Monday. They went out and executed it, even though maybe it didn't make perfect sense to them. I think once they saw it, they bought in, and they're like, okay, this is what's being asked of us, so this is what we're going to do.
You guys took care of business there, and you got a big one on a Friday night and Northmore and East Knox. Again, it's not the end all, but it's a big matchup. I mean, you're in week 7 now, so getting to that point. But again, we appreciate East Knox joining us here. We're going to take this break, come back, and we're going to talk about the upcoming ball games and the rest of the season with the East Knox Bulldogs here. Dave, we do want to thank Page One Group, Griffin Insurance, Coverage Electric Plumbing and Construction, as well as Knox County Veteran Services for bringing you tonight's shows. Take this break. We'll come back, and more of the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show is coming up from Pizza Cottage.
And Temperature is brought to you by
Knox County Veteran Services, located at 105 East Chestnut Street, Mount Vernon. Stop in and see us today.
Veterans serving veterans.
That's what we do here at Knox County Veteran Services. Hi, I'm Kevin Henthorne, your Executive Director.
And I'm Financial Coordinator Melissa Schenk.
And we're here to meet the needs of Knox County veterans and their families.
We can help with emergency financial assistance,
filing of disability and pension claims, VA healthcare enrollment, and even transportation to VA healthcare facilities.
Please give us a call at 740-393-6742 or stop in and see us at our new location at 105 East Chestnut Street in Mount Vernon.
Page One Group in beautiful Mount Vernon has your best interest in mind when it comes to you and your printing needs. Whether it's printing, design, laser engraving, or sublimation, there isn't a texture we can't print on. Promotional products is how you keep people coming back. That's where we come in. Your business is our business. Page One Group, open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Call 740-397-4240 or visit us at 10 East Vine Street.
Griffin Insurance, taking care of your family since 1972. In today's day and age, it's very uncommon to get a real person when you call. Not at Griffin Insurance. We represent multiple carriers to find the best rate for you and your family. Whether it's auto, residential, commercial, or farm, we're here to help. Call Griffin Insurance at 740-397-7488. Griffin Insurance, finding you the best rate.
Your sinks are backed up, the electric in your master bedroom needs rewired, and now the wife is asking for a new addition. It's time to get in touch with Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Now Construction. Give Brian and his team a call at 740-627-8004. They can fix your electrical and plumbing needs and give your bathroom and kitchen a remodel.
Cubbage Electric Plumbing and Construction is a proud sponsor for all the local high school teams.
Enjoy the season. Cubbage Electric, Plumbing, and Construction. 740-627-8004.
Here's your forecast on 100.9 FM and 93.7 HD2.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies and a slight chance for a rain shower tonight, low around 60, high in the mid to upper 70s Tuesday. Cloudy skies, another slight chance for a rain shower. Low of 55 tonight, showers in the evening, cloudy overnight. And for Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 71 and low of 47. That's your forecast on 100.9 FM and streaming live online, WMBO.com. All right, we are back here on the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show at Pizza Cottage. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week as well. I'll be here with you once again. We do want to thank Gary Cooper. That's Gary with 2 R's and Delaney with an L. So there you go. I don't know how else to say it for Delaney, who hasn't actually been here the last couple of weeks, but she's back there. And Gary, he just turned 17. I'm just teasing. I got to tease these guys a little bit. You know he's an East Knox Bulldog?
Oh, yeah. I picked him up on my school bus when I was,
you did?
When I was a bus driver. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an East Knox Bulldog.
Yeah.
He did not wear his East Knox shirt. He went with the
he's being
maroon
neutral.
polo.
There you go.
So I guess maroon.
Yeah.
Not really. Doesn't fit very well. And Delaney, we won't even say where she went to school. All right. Appreciate you guys joining us here. As we look at it again, big matchup on Friday night. But again, as we talked about, not an end-all for you on Friday night. But getting to play in these big games. East Knox has become almost used to this in a sense because you guys have played so well. You know, you haven't really missed a whole lot of a beat since Cody Reese was there and have transitioned right into you. And obviously, you had the big senior class that left, and then you had to kind of build it right back up. But you guys are right back to where you want to be, competing for an Knoxmore Athletic Conference championship. Is that you kind of feel like you're after these years that you've been in that role, that this is where you want to be, competing for championships?
Yeah, I mean, that's I believe we have a really tough conference. The KMAC is really tough top to bottom. Even, you know, when teams are down, it doesn't seem like they're down long or they're down bad. And so to be, you know, last week 2 10 competing for a league title was a positive step forward. And, we want to be in the same position this year. We want to be fighting for that league title because there's a lot of pride in winning the KMAC. It's a tough conference.
Yeah, I always got to mention the Devil Dog game. And, Luke, how much importance is put on the Devil Dog game?
Oh, there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
It's about all winter of lifting just for that game.
All right. A little sloppy last year. Hopefully the weather's a little bit better than it was last year. It was a little mess last year. Logan, how much emphasis is put on that Devil Dog game?
Obviously one of the biggest games for us, and just always want to win that one, and just can't let it happen like last year, that little bit.
It was a great ball game, though. Sloppy, but great. And I was in the studio the whole time. It was raining. You guys were out in the muddy mess.
Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like that. I mean, I don't know how people could even tell anybody apart there for a while.
Yeah.
It was just the mud bowl.
Yeah. Now, this year's going to be at East Knox.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a chance. Now, I won't be there. I used to call the Devil Dog game, and Curtis was like, I'm calling it. So the last several years he's done it. So I won't be there, but I did come there once for the Devil Dog game. And this guy stops us in the van and says, Tyler, roll down the window. When you leave here, turn right. I said, all right, I think I know how to get back to the radio station from
so.
If I can, then that's a real problem. Northmore causes – they're a tough football team. You guys are a tough football team. This is going to be a good football game on Friday night. I really believe that. When you look at the Northmore Golden Knights, what stands out to you? What do the East Knox Bulldogs have to do? Without giving away your whole game plan here, but what do the Bulldogs have to do? Stay in this game and end up pulling out a victory and sit atop the KMAC?
Well, we got to score more points in there.
Yeah, there you
go. They do a really good job throwing the ball.
Yeah.
They've got some really good receivers that I think are very talented. A quarterback that's his third year starting back there, and so that part kind of sticks out. That's the flashy part. But then when you really break it down, you see that they still have a commitment to running the ball, and I think that's what's really interesting is they're kind of known as a pass-happy team, but when you look at the numbers, they're probably actually in the league lower in pass attempts than almost every other team. And part of that is their efficiency. They're very efficient with it. But Coach Armrose has a commitment to running the football. And so, we just need to be really mindful to follow our rules, execute our game plan, and really focus on us. And I think if we do that, we're going to put ourselves in a really good position to be successful.
Well, of course, when they get big leads, too, you don't really throw the football.
Yeah, exactly.
In that kind of a situation. But you got these pieces here. We mentioned Blake Elliott leading the conference in rushing, 8 rushing touchdowns. He's second in the conference in tackles. Then you got the guys like Luke, like Logan, on the outside who are doing such a great job. Shane as well doing a great job. I think cut a couple of touchdown passes. And so you guys have the horses for Friday night, right?
Yeah.
Lindsay, bring the horn.
That's right. Fire the horn up. It'll be ready to rock and roll. That's for sure.
I'm just glad she didn't come in here and threaten to play it in here.
Well, the night's not over yet.
Oh, jeez. How fast can you drive? That's the question. But as we talked about, this is what it's all about. You don't come to play football here, Luke, and you say, I just want to play these 0-10 teams, and it's so fun to just win by 50.
Yeah.
These are the games Friday night that you guys look forward to, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we prepare for these tough teams, and we're ready to go to battle. We're all ready.
All right. Well, you guys got an opportunity on Friday night in front of those East Knox Bulldog fans and the big horn. So there you go. Well, as we look at it, Logan, and you talk about these big games, these opportunities to play in big games. You guys still got a number of them left. This isn't the only one. It's a tough road ahead here, but getting to play in these tough games, it can be fun, can't it?
Yeah, it's always fun to play in these tough games. No one wants to win by a lot. It's just fun to compete, fun to win.
Well, Coach might disagree that you want to win by a lot, but I got you. Now, your guys, they did leave you the pizza. See, they have stepped away. They have finished their pizza. And they're like, yours is on the table. They're standing
they're lurking.
around.
They're lurking still.
Yeah, but Coach, it's an exciting year. It's going to be a big football game on Friday night. But as we talked about, not the end all, but certainly a big football game. We'll have the game on WMVO, and we'll be talking with you on on Friday morning. But we appreciate you coming down, bringing your team and some of your team down here to the ball game or to the show, and ball games on Friday night. We're going to have it on WMVO.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
We hope the people join us, and we're going to talk with you on Friday morning.
Yep.
I don't remember what day of the week it is. I don't remember who I'm talking to. It's just like
That's all right.
That's what part of having kids does to you.
That's
You
very
know
true.
What I mean? You lose your brain cells. Okay. Appreciate Gary and Delaney behind the camera. Thanks to Centerburg for coming down as well, and thanks to the East Knox Bulldogs. Best of luck to the Bulldogs and the Trojans on Friday night in high school football. Thanks to Coverage Electric Plumbing and Construction, Griffin Insurance, our title sponsor, Knox County Veteran Services, Page One Group, and of course Pizza Cottage here on this Monday night. We're going to be back at it next week. Hopefully you join us. Thanks for joining us on the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show on WMBO.